Here in the Phantom Zone, it is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media shield money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying supervillain on YouTube Entertainment today, Mr. General Zod. And I am joined here by another myth, another man of legend.
I am not a myth. I am the real deal.
And today we're doing an impromptu stream. I've sent out the tweets. I don't know how birds of prey and oh yeah, I said I figure we bullshit a little bit because you just came out of Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And I figure we have a spoiler talk. So anyone who comes on, spoiler warning, we're gonna spoil Birds of Prey. However, if you're not interested in the movie, then stick around, listen to some crazy commentary. Off the bat, I the thumbnail for the video that you had and the tweet that you sent out before your review, I was hilarious. But there's been a lot of mixed reviews. Now, we know the critics are full of shit, and this movie is not a 9 out of 10. Hell, I really didn't even put it in like the 8s for me. I put it in like the 7s, but let's just get your take on this film. What did you think about this movie personally?
It's exactly what I expected. I said this when I first saw the trailer. I was like, this just looks like a fun time at the movies, and that's exactly what I got. So I can't really complain.
Now, I think we should address a couple of things because what inspired me to do this impromptu stream, besides the fact that I wanted to just talk about something DC, was the fact that I was YouTube surfing, and I mean, this movie isn't even officially released, and already the videos are coming out about feminist propaganda and blah, 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 fucking blah.
Oh, my God. This is what makes me hate, like, just... It's people like that just makes movies not fun. I think I gotta blame somebody. Like, I gotta point the finger at the people that do this, because it's y'all's fault that we get in movies like this. Not like this, but like, these quote unquote feminist blah blah blahs, and what I'm saying, I blame y'all. Blame y'all.
Like, there's a point to be made, okay? Like, guys, check out my Twilight Zone reviews, and I'm going to do a controversial review on the 3rd episode called Rewind. Why I'm a little bit more excited about this review is because it deals with Black Lives Matters, and I'm a white guy talking about it, so it should be fun to see the feedback on that video. But, okay, there's a difference between what the Twilight Zone did, which was they full beat your head with the political politics. Like, there's an episode called Not All Men that is literally an episode just bashing men. That's all this episode does. Okay? There's a difference between entertainment that does that and then something like a Birds of Prey. Now, will I say Warner Brother did the best marketing? Watch the Good Morning America interview. That was a big mistake. I don't know why the fuck these people go and promote their movies like that. Because feminists ain't seeing this. They'll say, oh, yeah, it's a feminist movie. But they're not going to go see Harley Quinn. They don't even know who the fuck Harley Quinn is.
They don't even know who the Birds of Prey are.
Yeah.
The casual moviegoer does not know who the Birds of Prey are. They're on the level of, like, before Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who the fuck the Guardians were.
Yeah, it's one of these movies where I understand now having Harley Quinn in the movie. I feel like for me, so I mean, let's just jump right into spoilers. For me, Harley Quinn's narrations were by far some of the fucking funniest parts of the movie.
Even when she was getting the egg sandwich and shit, that shit was pretty funny. I was like,
Yo,
yeah,
I
like
felt
all
that
she
way
wants to,
about food.
yeah, that's like all she wants to do is enjoy life, like in like just live a normal life now that she's away from the Joker, and like she can't really get away from this life, as normal as she tries to live. Like she's living with a fucking hyena. Like,
Like, yeah, we'll jump into all that, but like, yeah, the narrations were pretty fun. And look, there's making female characters that are just badass and don't really have any substance to them. But Harley Quinn in this movie does very visibly go through an arc. And I mean, quite literally, the stages of grieving, as only a
mm,
psychotic lunatic can. And I feel like they did flesh out some of the characters fairly decently. Not all of them, but
mm.
like for you, what was your favorite character in this film?
Outside of Harley or including
Yeah,
Harley,
outside of Harley Quinn, because we all know
I
people are
would
gonna
say I
like.
would say I like the Huntress's like whole background, how she was connected to a lot of what was going on. I wish that's one character I wish we got more of, but obviously they're setting up for a sequel. So, um, I
Yeah,
would say Black Canary was. I know a lot of people's not favorite off rip, but like I thought she was cool for what she did, and she does not have a flat ass for people that like were sitting there like running around with that Photoshop picture of her. She does have a little bit of cakes on her. Um, I even like the cop. The cop was pretty funny. Like how like there's like she just sounds like one of those bad cops from an '80s movie or some shit like that. Like she says a lot of corny shit, and I like that. She was very and she definitely played her part. I do want to it's kind of like jumping ahead, but I do like how this is still connected to the Suicide Squad, like and whatnot, because you saw the poster with Captain Boomerang. That was pretty funny. Like you just see his like crazy ass picture and whatnot. I wonder if that ties into the Suicide Squad, but
yeah,
be
like
interesting.
I like the fact that it played off of it, but it really it didn't it distanced itself, but it didn't. I still say they did Jared Leto's Joker dirty. I know he's not the best
I
Joker, but he kind of like
I felt
has a
I
very
I felt like that was pretty funny how they did it. Like how Cassandra's like who the Joker, the
yeah.
first and like Harley's like the Crown first. But I feel like they're gonna bring back that Joker or like probably renegotiate with Jared Leto or something like that, or just replace him entirely for a Harley Quinn movie or something like
Yeah,
that in the future.
yeah, I think they're gonna replace him as the Joker, honestly, and
Yeah,
find someone else.
honestly, that's the best way you could have probably addressed his character. Like they tease like little certain scenes and stuff and whatnot, and because if they would have completely left him out of the movie, then I think that would have kind of rubbed people the wrong way. You got to at least like tease him a little bit or something like that, or he's still out there. He just he like for some odd reason he's just missing. So
Yeah, so I mean, there was a somewhat a decent break in that, but so the Harley Quinn breaks up with Joker, and the thing that I liked about this movie that I thought was done really well, in particular, was the fact that you're gonna hear a lot of people on YouTube probably saying that the females is overpowered and things like that, but it's a lot of
mm,
practical fighting. Like they get
yeah,
their
that's what
ass kicked quite
yeah,
a
and
deal in this movie.
it's not like, and a lot of the times that they're like beating their asses, they're like a lot of if it's like hit throwing and just kicks. Like kicks will fuck you up, bro. Like people underestimate kicks.
Yeah, as a martial artist, I know.
I think Harley had the smoothest ones though. Like when she like she threw the bat on the on the concrete and bounced up and hit the dude, and she caught the shit. Like that shit was fly. I fuck with that.
Yeah, like I thought that the style of fighting they did was the exact style of fighting that I like. Was that they made her that Harley Quinn in particular fought very practical. Like 90% of the time, she had a weapon of some kind.
She got thrown through a door. Like
She was always armed.
she got through.
Uh,
She like when the dude picked her up and threw her through the door. Like I was like, damn.
yeah, like I like to just say, like I don't know really how it hasn't been called out by like the top critics. Folks, women get their ass beat in this film. Don't be
It, it,
misled.
it,
Like Harley Quinn
Zod,
gets tied up and
you're missing
smacked.
you're missing a key point that a lot of people don't. They seem to forget. It's a fucking comic book movie. Harley Quinn was doing this shit to people in the fucking cartoons. Like she was beating up dudes and throwing them all around shit in the cartoons. So this is fucking nothing different.
Yeah, and I mean, look, one we were talking about this before we got on air. One could, if you looked, if you were going in there to try to find a feminist angle in this movie, you will find it. I mean, there's a lot of parallels that you could find, like, the fact, and the biggest thing that pissed me off, like, I love Ian McGregor's Black Mask. I loved it. But at the same time, he did have a kind of cartoonish kind of arc to him. He wasn't a very deep villain. He was
And
just a
he was and
typical.
he wasn't sitting there but fucking Victor's ass what like a lot of people were expecting.
No. I mean, there was hints, but once again, this movie is very like if you're going in there to pick it apart, you could find it, but it wasn't overtly in your face as they would have you believe in these interviews. There's a lot of
Mhm.
subtle things that if you're like watching, you'd be like, oh, okay. Like, in particular, not to jump ahead, but at the end of the movie, when they have that big battle scene, yes, all of the guys are on one side, all the girls are on the other. I mean, there's some girl power nods in there, but I mean, I go into a movie
Hey,
this.
wait! Before you finish that, but you remember in you know the way they come together though it makes sense because of what the whole goal of the movie is. It's all about Cassandra Cain getting this diamond. That's all they really care about. Now go to Endgame where we just automatically have all these females that never met each other just all of a sudden just like we're just gonna unite real quick and beat some ass. How's that make sense? Like
Yeah, like that's what I said. Like that Endgame more of a eye roll moment than this movie did. And to be honest with you, I did have a lot of fun with this film. Like honestly, to be honest, Margot Robbie does hold a lot of this movie on her shoulders. Her and
as
Ewan McGregor, I say, hold a good like 75% of this movie, and
now
Huntress.
you take Harley Quinn out this movie, then you know what I'm saying you're only serving like the people that are fans of the comics or the comic book characters of say nobody you needed that Harley Quinn to kind of like and she pretty much introduced you to all these characters like who the birds of prey are going to be you know which I kind of like that.
Yeah, I liked, and one thing I want to say, okay, if you weren't a fan of the way that Suicide Squad did things, this one took the concept of introducing characters and it was much cleaner. Like, a lot of this movie is a lot cleaner as far as the stuff they did in Suicide Squad. They do in this movie just much better. My only issue was that some of the narrative is messy. Like and I think you said it in your review. There's parts that do lag and kind of drag on where you're
Hmm.
like let's get back to the story. Like the story writing isn't still that crisp, clean writing, but the visuals and the way that they transition is much better in this film. I think another thing that'll throw people off, and I'm sure you can agree with me, Perp, is you have to remember you're getting the narrations from Harley Quinn. So there's a lot of random shit in this movie that just like comes out of nowhere that has to do with nothing. Like she gets smacked and then she sees this whole musical number in her head and then it's over. Like it's no purpose to the movie. It doesn't
or
serve it
when she
whatsoever.
goes or when she goes to the Chinese spot and like the Chinese do automatically knows about the girl and shit. Oh well, actually no, that makes sense because of the whole wanted posters and stuff that were going around.
But I mean, also too, another thing, and I know this is going to be pointed out, but I mean, let's be honest with each other. Okay, when you heard Birds of Prey, when I heard Birds of Prey, there's not a deep plot here, people. This is not a
It's not.
Joker. You're not going to be thinking about it days later. This is
It's
really
straightforward.
very straightforward. And the thing is, when you see this movie, the movie is self-aware of what it is. Like the people in the movie, the characters literally are aware of what kind of movie this is. Harley like narrates certain things that as an audience member you're thinking. So I mean, there's a lot of clever things to this. Um, some things that I didn't like was one, I do not like how they do. Like you liked Dana Lance. I didn't like that. I'm from the comics end though, so I know how her character goes. Now,
Mm.
for every time they do this character, they always fuck something up. And her power this time was right, but like her origin story was way off. And I understand that they did it because they had to connect it to this whole thing because everything essentially connects to Black
So she
Mass.
didn't. She like not in the so in the comics she didn't never had like a mother that had the same abilities. That's just something they added.
In the comics, it is implied that yes, but like the origins, like of her being homeless or whatever else, was kind of like not there. They just added that shit, and her connection to Black Mask, she was never connected to Black Mask whatsoever.
Yeah, but it was
Um,
just for like it made sense for the movie because every character had a connection to him. So
yeah, it was like now the Huntress was an interesting one because that was a very thin connection. Uh,
yeah,
because one, Zaz didn't really ever work with anyone in the comics. He's more of just a serial killer that Batman hunts. Um,
okay. Because I
but
was
I
wondering like,
mean,
does he have like any abilities like? Because I could have swore he had like some type of magic abilities, maybe or something like that, or he
no,
just a dude.
he's just a
Okay.
sadistic fuck who doesn't feel pain. He's like masochistic,
I
which
mean,
made him dangerous.
I feel like that he now that you explain that he kind of you know uh showed that, but he definitely was a throwaway character. So
Yeah, that was my other gripe. Like Victor Zaz is one of my favorites, and I only ever seen one iteration where they did him right, and that was Gotham. That was the only time I ever seen them do that character right. Um, but
and,
once again, I kind of understood what they were going for.
and I'm not too familiar with Cassandra Cain. I know she's supposed to be like under Batman, which it seems like they're going in a different direction with it. Which you know, who's to say that she won't end up being good and just turning on Harley, or they might just go on their own little adventures or something like that. Because she's definitely going to get trained by Harley Quinn, so she's going to have that skill set, But it's up in the air with what they're going to do with her character.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
was
I'm
my
not
other
too.
problem was Cassandra Cain. Like she she is pretty vital to the world of to Batman. So Batgirl and then later becomes Oracle. If I believe I got that right. No, that was Barbara Gordon. I got to go back through. I know she was definitely in the Bat family. And yeah, I was really, that was one of the choices that I had a problem with in this movie. that she plays, anyone could have played that. So I don't know why, in
Mm.
particular, they chose that character. I think it was a very odd choice.
Yeah, like I
So
said,
I
I
mean,
think they're gonna I think they're gonna do more with her character in the future. Like I definitely think eventually she like will cross paths with Batman. Batman will do his little heroic shit and kind of get or Harley will probably like abandon her or something like that and that's how she comes across Batman. I still think that's up in the air. I guess people are thrown off because of her look. She looked very tomboyish, but I
yeah,
don't have a
that, and she's also Asian, which is that's a race swap from the original character. I know
yeah,
that.
and I don't have an issue with the costumes because it's like it fits for the for what Gotham is going for. Everybody's kind of dirty, grimy. The only person that didn't have tattoos and shit like that was fucking Black Mask and shit. But I have an issue with the costumes because those could always change over time. Everybody has to go through the beta phase, and then you get your real costume and shit.
Yeah, so the costumes were a mixed bag for me. I think the only one I really, well, the two that I liked were Harley Quinn's get-ups, because she has several, and Huntress. Honestly, Perp, we landed on the same thing. Like the one character I feel like they got right was Huntress. That backstory is pretty much ripped from the comics. Like with the what were they called, the something crime family kid. Fuck, why am I blanking out? Um, Shoot. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I kind of
What were the
my fat
Bertinelli?
finger.
There we go. The Bertinelli.
Yeah, my fat fingers hit the wrong button.
But yeah, the Bertinelli family. That's like that's actually to the Huntress's backstory. I thought that it was criminal how underused Mary Elizabeth Winstead was, because she was by far the most interesting character out of all of them. That's my opinion. Like, I would watch a Huntress movie, and like
It's
the
not a
shit at
bow and
the ending was hilarious when they're like,
arrow.
"You're so angry," and she's like, "I'm not fucking angry."
You have a bow and arrow. It's not a bow and arrow. It's a crossbow. That
She
shit
goes,
was
"I'm
funny.
not a." She's like, "I'm not a fucking kid."
I'm not fucking
So
12. Yeah, yeah. I wish we got more of her because she was kind of like mysterious but like she kind of did what she needed to do throughout that whole movie.
yeah, I mean, here's my thing. I think that actually her character was done the best, because that was a great introduction, because it had her in the movie enough for you to be interested in, but it didn't like overuse her. I'm gonna be honest with you, I hated the fucking cop. I could not stand her. I know which one she
Hmm.
is, but I've never in the Birds of Prey ever liked that particular character, so I guess she played her role, because Renee Montoya is just fucking annoying in general. So maybe she did actually do a good job.
Yeah, she's supposed to.
I hated her
She's supposed
fucking
to be
character.
like what? She's supposed to be a cop from an '80s movie or some shit. However they referenced it, but
Yeah, like that was pretty good. But yeah, overall, I mean, those scenes with the Huntress were pretty good. I enjoyed that. So out of this movie, what scene really got you invested? Like, what was one of your favorite scenes?
honestly, just all the scenes with Harley Quinn, like mostly her fight scenes and stuff. Fight scenes with Harley Quinn were dope. Like just how unique it was. I even like the end fight when they're at the little Joker's old hideout, whatever. Um, like they did some creative things, like especially with like Huntress, like like what she was doing and whatnot. It was just really interesting and you know um but if I had to really lock it down to my favorite scene, It'd probably have to be. Yeah, it'd probably have to be that little warehouse or whatever the fuck they were at.
Oh my
I mean,
God, Turp!
maybe that's the end.
It's like we were watching the movie together, and we just got done talking about it. That was my favorite scene. Like my favorite scene. Okay, so let me set up for you guys how fucking great Ewan is in this movie. So Black Mask. Okay, Black Mask to me was a tricky announce when they announced it because I'm like, whoever plays it, they either are gonna have to play this character like subtle, like a subtle,
Mm.
like kind of psychotic, or they're gonna have to be way the fuck over the top.
Yeah,
And
like
even it was way the fuck over the top.
sometimes when he was talking and he got angry, I was thinking of PB because like the way he was yelling at people, it was just like that's how PB would like yell at somebody. Like
Yeah, yo, it's kind of funny. I was thinking that too. But the best scene for me, I was gonna say, was the warehouse scene too. You son of a bitch. Yeah, like just the way he was like when he was carving. Like, okay, this dude had Zaz, and this is true to Zaz's character. He actually did this in the comics, but he had them cut off people's fucking faces, like literally their fucking whole all of their face. And folks,
even
this
a
is an
kid.
R-rated movie. They like
Yeah.
he lifted the shit up so you could see it. Like he cut their shit off, like the whole face just off. And then the funniest thing ever, he gets the last person. It's this girl, and he goes, I'm feeling pretty lenient today. Let her live. And then he lifts her up and he goes, honey, it's okay, it's okay. And then he looks down and he goes, ugh, what the fuck is that? Is that a snot bubble? You go kill it. I was like, yo, that right
It's
there was Black Mask.
yeah
That was
yeah, like the way he would freak out when he seen certain things. He's like he'd get grossed out by certain things. He's like, ugh. That's just,
he just like I can't describe it. You have to see the movie, but he just like does that whole thing like when you get something on your hands and you're like, ugh, he does that. But she's tied up, like hanging upside down on this big ass hook. And I'm just sitting there like, and that's when I realized that this movie is very unique in the fact that, okay, so this could have been one of those things where they rely on the R rating to carry it through. But I felt like the violence and the shit that they did uh fit the scene. Like they didn't go
yeah,
really like
they didn't go like Saw level gore. It wasn't
violence,
like
yeah.
torture porn. It's very mild, but like it's very like some of the bone. Like when she's fighting dude, she in the warehouse, she does a
Yeah,
couple
with the
times.
baseball bat. Oh,
I felt that like when she like broke his arm and then broke his leg and then broke it back in place. I'm like, God damn, like ow. And when she like jumped on dude like in the club when she jumped on dude's fucking legs, yo, that shit was ow.
yeah, and I just want to say, the fight scenes. If you guys didn't know, I did some research. I dug this up, but Chad Stahelski went back through in the edits. Now, if you don't know who Chad Stahelski is, he is the mastermind, the genius, my favorite director in the whole fucking world because he made John Wick. He actually came on board and cleaned up their fight scenes. Remember when they were talking about there was behind the scenes, like they were doing reshoots?
Mm.
Chad Stahelski is the one who reshot some of these fight scenes, and you
It
can
makes sense
tell.
because yeah, because they were really clean. Like they weren't doing no shaky cam shit. You know, everybody. You know, the fight scenes just were like really believable. Like just in certain situations. Obviously, like certain things are exaggerated. It's a fucking comic book movie, but um, but yeah, like a lot of a lot of these chicks get fucked up and shit and get thrown through shit.
Yeah, like when you like the scene at the end when they're on the pier. Let me tell you something. Harley Quinn looks fucked up. Like she's limping. Like the
Yeah,
thing
she
that
was
I
limping.
like, yeah, the thing that I liked about this. even over like male action hero things, like they showed the damage on this. Like I will argue with anyone who comes on YouTube and says that, oh yeah, they were overpowered. The fuck they were, literally.
She
And
got
you can go
smacked by
see the movie.
she got smacked by that like into that van and shit, and that's why she was limping and stuff. I was like, damn, you should be. That's some Fast and Furious shit. You should be dead. But yeah, she definitely like sprained her ankle or something.
Yeah, she's like limping at the end. And the best part is, right, is that it doesn't do the bullshit route where like I thought they were gonna do like, oh, female empowerment and she kills the guy. She takes a shot at Black Mask and fucking totally misses, and she has one bullet. That I don't know why. I really like that. I thought it was a nice touch because she says this whole speech, and I'm getting ready to roll my eyes because I'm like, oh, of course, male character. And then she goes, go ahead.
No, I was like, I think a lot of people might have issues with Black Mask because he doesn't really fight in this when he's known to be a fighter. That would have been kind of cool to see just Harley
Him and Harley fight it out at the end. I would have liked to see that.
yeah, but
That was
he
my
got
other
all
issue.
that. I got your ring.
Yeah, like, but the best part is, and you guys have seen this in the trailer. She goes, everyone's underestimating me, and she goes, I'm Harley fucking Quinn, and she shoots, and she completely fucking misses them because they're in like a dark, misty pier, and so she
Yeah.
shoots this like mannequin next to him. And I'm not gonna lie, I fucking laughed. I was like, that was a good nod because I was like, wait a second, and then he comes out with the girl and he's got a knife to her throat, and I was like, now that was clever. There's a
And
lot of clever writing in
yeah,
this.
they set that up earlier when she when what's her face gave her the gun and she's like, oh, like, only one bullet.
Yeah,
Oh,
like she's like,
one of my favorite scenes is like when they're in the supermarket and they're like stealing the food and they just smack dude with the fucking with the
shopping
cart.
cart.
Yeah.
Yo, that was funny. So they're in the supermarket, right? And she's getting all these groceries, and she's giving Cassandra like tips to being like her, and she goes, "You're gonna buy all this?" And she goes, "No, I'm gonna steal it." She runs out the fucking grocery store with a cart full of groceries. And then there was another thing too that was hilarious. Like they cut back into a scene, and she goes, "And that's why you never pay your taxes." And I was fucking. There were like two or three people in my theater laughing, and I was like, "That." Like it had a lot of sharp stuff. And then there was some stupid comedy. They had this running joke, like she swallows the diamond. And so there's
Yeah.
this joke that's running in the thing, like how she has to take a shit to shit out the diamond. And like she buys like laxatives and shit, and she's stuck with this diamond. So I mean, there were a couple of things that was kind of corny where I was like kind of, whatever. But
Yeah, it's interesting that in the beginning where they find out that she breaks up with the Joker and like all these different people are coming after her like on some John Wick shit. That shit was funny.
like it's kind of funny when they mentioned that the guy from John Wick came in to clean up the fight scenes, because I almost kind of feel like too he also came in and gave them some tips, because a lot of
Hmm.
the shit that happens, like I heard someone make a dumbass comparison. They would go, oh, this is the female John Wick. No, the fuck it's not. But you can see his style because he clearly came in and helped them out,
Yeah,
because a lot of the shit.
the slow mo fightings and stuff like little slow mo motion, like
Mhm.
fight scenes a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things where you're looking and you can spot John Wick-esque kind of action, and it's not out of the norm. I heard rumors that he came up and cleaned up the fighting, but I thought it was bullshit until I saw the movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Chad Stahelski choreograph right there. Because the man, if you don't know, he also choreographs the fight scenes for John Wick. So he directs, he writes, he also does the stunts. Like
Okay.
frames out the stunts for it. So when
I
I'm looking at the movie, I'm like, yeah, I can see where he had a hand in helping them clean this shit up.
I'm kind of like seeing where DC is going now. Like now it seems to be clear. I could be completely off. Like it seems like all right, they're going to have everything's still connected because like they kind of changed up the whole DCEU and called it the world of DC. Yeah, something like that, the world of DC. And they said they're not going with the whole connected universe, but even though it is still connected, I think what's gonna happen is, you're gonna have Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey be its own thing. Like those movies will be its own thing. Then you'll have their other rated R stuff like another Joker or Riddler or Mr. Freeze or whatever, and then you'll have the shit that everybody could take their family to go see, with the Batman and all that. And I'm starting to see where they're trying to go with this, and then Flashpoint is going to be the thing that brings everything together.
And that'll be interesting just to see what the rating will be like for that. Like they've proven like Harley Quinn in this is very R. Like it is a very R-rated movie, but I've also seen Margot Robbie do a great PG-13, so her character is very interchangeable.
Yeah, I think that's
The
what they're going to end up doing with the characters. Like they'll still have rated R movies when it comes to said characters, but if they want them in certain movies for their PG-13, they'll use them for that.
Oh, by the way, we got 7 people watching. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Salute, salute.
Yeah, this is like our little impromptu stream. And what really spurred me to make this spoiler review is that I'm seeing a lot of bullshit here on YouTube, and I'm gonna keep it 100%. Like people who come on my channel and perp, you know me, like I'll be the first one to make a rant on feminist propaganda. I'm doing air quotes right now, but woke shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 reviews pissed me off today. One for the 3rd episode of Picard, and if you haven't seen my review, go check it out. But um, they, like people calling stuff out that I feel like now we're just looking for shit. Like we are looking for a reason to like go and call something woke. And honestly, I'm gonna say that this movie, I think a lot of normal people are gonna like it because just in my theater, and I heard your review too. In my theater, people were laughing, people were having a good time. I honestly think this is just a fun movie that's poorly marketed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's one of those things where the trailer does 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 not do the movie justice.
no, no, not at all. The trailers didn't do it justice. The way that
Oh,
they're promoting it, it's
did
not
did you
feminist.
did you notice? When they show this in the trailer when she throws the stick of dynamite out the window, you see the chick going flying in the movie, like the chick that was in there, her whole body just like pops out the fucking out of the explosion and shit. I was like, dog, that's awesome.
Tommy had 2 funny comments I wanted to highlight. One, he said, even if you, General Zod, even if you brought me a movie ticket, I wouldn't go and see it, LOL. And then he
That's
said,
fun.
at General Zod's Phantom Zone, I won't watch Picard either. Not paying for another service for one effing show. Now, Tommy, that's a good
Hey,
point.
you know what? I'm gonna start saying this that before the movie comes out, that Black Widow is gonna be woke. It's gonna be woke. It's gonna be feminist propaganda.
Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. I remember when we had that talk, and I said I was unimpressed with Black Widow, and I said it's kind of looking like it could go either way. And like, no one's gonna come out and call their treasured golden Marvel. Oh, they're not gonna go woke, and they're so well made, and look at the action. And then like DC gets slammed. And granted, the trailers don't really do this movie justice, but I'm just saying I still feel there's a bullshit double standard, like a
Yeah.
really hard bullshit double standard to these
and, and,
movies.
and that's why I came to the decision today to just when I go to do reviews, I'm not watching nobody else's reviews other than LB. That's the only one like that. really matters to me. But everybody else, like even like some of my favorite YouTubers, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. I just don't care. I'm
Oh,
just do
Teresa Martin. Hi, nice to have you. I've seen you on the channel again. Good to see you
salute,
here. Yeah,
salute.
it's just like at this point, I'm feeling like a lot of this thing is what is the thing that gives off the most outward appearance of being agenda driven that we could go and put on a thumbnail and then just get clicks and then just go off the rails about. And really, if we're being honest reviewers and honest critics, if I'm talking from a movie standpoint, is this movie like groundbreaking? Like the shills are going to tell you no. I mean,
It's not
I
better
don't
than
even
Dark
have this
Knight.
in my 9 or 10s.
It's not better
you,
than
you
Dark
know,
Knight. 'Cause I saw that review. That dude was trolling. That dude was trolling. He didn't really
like
believe that.
no, this isn't. This is just popular to say it's groundbreaking because it has an all female cast. But
I,
let's be
I
real, that's the angle they're playing.
I'll say this, right? This movie is better than Captain Marvel. This movie is
Oh
better
yeah,
than Suicide Squad. This movie is
yep.
better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is better than a lot of like bad Marvel movies that's been put out, or better than a lot of DC movies that's been put out lately. So it's solid. It's watchable.
Oh,
And
Generation Productions. I see you there. I'm sorry, buddy. My chat jumps.
and and and, uh, and to give you some context of why, like I did not like was not bored with this movie at all. It's like I have not slept in like almost a day now. So, and I was almost damn near about to fall asleep through the previews. I was like, damn, bro, these previews need to go. Get to the movie so I can go home.
Yeah,
But
I hear you.
but it definitely kind of woke me up like watching this. I was like, this is really entertaining. Some of the jokes hit, some of them don't. But overall, I was entertained, and that's what I expected going
Hey,
into this.
comics chat. What up?
What up, Danny?
Yeah, but I'll put it to you like this. This is the problem this movie's gonna have. If you're a diehard DC fan and you know the backstory of the Birds of Prey, which I do, you're gonna have to let a lot of things go because this origin story is not only like one of them have the
And
actual origin story. The
and
rest of
I,
them
I
just kind
hate
of shoehorned in.
and I hate that argument too, because none of these fucking comic book movies stay accurate to the fucking source material. Like Infinity War is nothing like the comic books. Absolutely nothing like it.
Oh yes, Danny, I am ready for Sunday. It's just going to
Um,
be us, and then we'll be back on Monday, I guess, on Perp's channel to do a double. We're going to be doing double duty for power.
yeah, I'm trying to go in there with fresh takes and just completely, you know, I'm ready though. I'm ready.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
can't.
but
That's another one I couldn't wait for. But I got to tell you, today has been a pleasant day. I woke up, I watched Picard. I was actually happy with the episode. I ranted on on the bullshit Twilight Zone episode, and then I watched Birds of Prey on the big screen. Now I got a pre-screening, which is why my review came out before most people's, and um, it was good to watch it a second time because the first time I watched it as a DC fan, and this time I watched it as a critic. And
and if you're an MCU fan, you're already not gonna like this because you're an MCU fan. You don't like nothing DC. If you're an MCU fan, like a die-hard MCU fan.
well, like here's the thing. I've always been perp in that weird middle place where I rock with both DC and Marvel, but it's like considered sacrilege. And these days the divide is so much worse because they're like, how can you say you're a Marvel fan if you? Because I
I
like both.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm be honest though. Like I'm starting to feel the fatigue. I'm starting to feel it because it's
You
like
know,
I'm still excited for Wonder Woman. Still excited to see what they do with the Batman. It's just like with just everything with like social media, how they just handle shit. It's just like you can't enjoy shit.
no, you really can't. Trey, to answer your question, the fight scene in the warehouse was probably the best part of BBS, and I'm gonna say that these fight scenes, I could pick a few that actually beat that fight scene. Like the scene with Harley Quinn in the bat, like she fucked this dude up. And keep in
bro.
mind, it's a steel baseball bat. Like
She was
she wrecked
when
his shit.
that shit bounced off the ground and hit dude in the face. It bounced back and back into her hands. That shit was clean as hell.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was um Danny, they did steal Deadpool's fourth wall breaking. Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie on that one. It is definitely a ripoff of Deadpool.
man, man,
Like,
man, fuck Deadpool. This was better than both Deadpools. I said it.
oh man, I don't know about that. Like Ryan
I say
Reynolds
that.
is my boy. Those Deadpool movies are pretty hard.
Hey, I'll take this movie over Ryan Reynolds doing a bunch of suspect things with another female any day of the week. So
No, that was a hilarious
those
scene
movies,
when he was talking about the different sex things during the different ones. That shit was
those
funny.
movies, especially the second one's still trash, but the first one definitely does not. I don't think it holds up like when it first came out. Compared to when it first came out, I don't think it holds up.
Trey Courtney, thank you. I'll let you say that. MCU sucks besides Winter Soldier and Guardians.
Damn.
I would agree. Like Winter Soldier was tight. Those fight scenes with Cap, I watched it the other day. Captain America and the Winter
Let
Soldier.
me
That's my favorite
let,
one.
let me talk to Danny real quick because like I'm feeling I'm starting to feel a bit of fatigue. You know, it's just it, it it just seems like a lot of these comic book movies just do the same shit. And this is why I'm more excited for what DC's doing because at least we're getting somewhat of a different, you know, a different outcome with those movies. You know, with Marvel, it's kind of more of the same. They play it safe like most of the time.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I've made this argument. I've made this argument a ton of times, and I get those crazy looks like, "What do you mean they did this?" And it's like it's formulaic. It's always the same. It's always the same formula. It's always the same plot beats. Watch. I watched Marvel movies the other day. Just watch them. They always follow the same exact pattern. One thing
a
I
lot
will
of
give this movie is it's fucking
mm,
crazy and all over the place. Like it really is like just jumps from point to point.
and that's what's always going to hold back the MCU. They're never going to. They're always going to be limited on what they could do and what they could show, and where DC is just like, we could go PG-13 and R.
Yeah, I'd be really interested. Here's something interesting. Now, MCU is held back by one very big thing. They are owned by Disney. Disney does not want any R rating under their banner. They've stated that. They go with that family bullshit. They rather
Hmm
make fucked up Lilo and
Like,
Stitch. Yo,
like
did you see that
Endgame is
gremlin looking motherfucker? I'm gonna
yeah,
talk about that tonight.
that
Oh,
shit was terrible. But
yo, that shit was scary,
the
and that's gonna be your.
the darkest that the MCU has ever gotten is like Civil War and like Endgame and Infinity War and and it's like you're gonna have to wait like some years to see that ever again. Like I don't think they're even gonna probably do like really push it. Like they don't really push themselves. They don't really push that PG-13 like that. Like those are the last movies that really are gonna do that. Don't expect it. Don't expect like Falcon and Winter Soldier to be like real dark and gritty. That shit's gonna have a shit ton of jokes in it. Like
I
that
think
that
comic Danny put it the best here in his comment. He said,
mm.
"You're not excited to see what Venom 2 does?" Yes, I am. Morbius, Blade are gonna do. Yep. The
I mean,
Eternal.
I heard Morbius is gonna be PG-13, so I don't even know about that.
I think Morbius is gonna fall into kind of what the like Venom was. It's gonna be a
I,
dark PG-13. Like Sony's touches that line. I'll give them
eh,
credit. They
eh,
they touch the line.
Venom 2. I'll wait and see for that. Like, I want to see what Carnage looks like. Morbius, I could care less about. Blade, I don't like vampires. Vampires are kind of lame and played out now. Depends if they make that like a hard R. If they make that a hard R, I'm in there. If they make it PG-13, that shit's gonna be whack. I'm telling y'all that right now. If they make Blade PG-13, that shit's gonna be whack.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. Kamikaze, I might have to disagree with you. Man of Steel, you can look up the box office numbers. It did not fail, actually. Justice League and Suicide Squad didn't fail either, not numbers wise. They just had a big drop off, but those numbers were pretty high. Like Suicide Squad was unreasonably high for the kind of movie it was. They
Hmm.
were never box. See, here's the thing that this is the argument that makes me upset the most about this is that people call DC movies a flop. They don't flop. Look at Box Office Mojo. None of those films have flopped. Even the horrendous Justice League, it did not flop. It was just not a critical success. It wasn't an audience success. The drop off was tremendous, but they still made their money back. If they didn't, you wouldn't get Aquaman or Wonder Woman or anything else that came after that. It wasn't they weren't a box office success. They just weren't a critically received movie.
And,
And
and
there's a
when you go back
huge
to those
world of difference.
and you when you go back to those movies, they actually like are better now. Like, like I watched the the extended cut of BVS if I want to watch any version of BVS. I think that movie's still underrated. Man of Steel is still underrated. Like they still have some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in a comic book movie. Period. Like just
No,
like
I don't like Man of Steel. I don't like What Happens to Zod. That was bullshit. I was good with that movie until we got to the end, and I'm like, they snapped his fucking neck. Those sons of a bitches. Yo, but
and like
no, but seriously, I really did like that scene because that to me was kind of like signified where Zack Snyder wanted to take it. And, I
mhm.
just think that he didn't have a chance to really play out. I would have liked to see what his full course was because that Justice League was nothing. I can guarantee you. They say Zack Snyder only in name. Like that shit was Josh Whedon. You could tell. Like Whedon's
Yeah,
writing
the
is
the, the
very
studio
distinct.
the studio definitely had their hands all over that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could see the cuts. It was very rough. It was very choppy. The stupid one-liners. It
But
is like
but I definitely think we'll get another Justice League within like by 2028 or 2027.
but yeah, I think that I think that the direction I think when watching this movie, one sense that I did get was that the movie didn't give a shit, which I was happy about, and I can actually now see where DC wants to go. Like their roadmap is more clear than it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like
Yeah.
before, it felt like they had no fucking plan what they wanted to do with these movies. And now watching this, I can kind of see that they want to make themselves a little bit more darker than the competition. And I think it serves them well. I think when they just try to have fun with their products and don't try to
Yeah,
fucking interfere in it, it's a
and,
lot better.
and I think that's what's gonna be the turning point for this whole DC versus Marvel, like where Marvel is going to service, the kid friendly, family friendly like crowd. And, people are gonna get sick of that and they want something darker, more gritty, and they're gonna go to DC and like and I think we'll get a really clear view of where everything's gonna go by the time Wonder Woman comes out and maybe in Batman. We'll know
So,
we'll know by next year.
let's just talk about the previews for a second. Did you see? And I just want to get your opinion. Did you see Spiral?
Yeah, I saw that on YouTube and whatnot. That looks interesting. I'm
Yeah,
curious to see where that goes.
Chris Rock, and they had me okay when they show Chris Rock. I thought it was the new Lethal Weapon. That's
Oh,
confirmed, by the way, Lethal Weapon 4. I was like,
you
oh, Lethal Weapon 4, yes. And then he said the character's name, and I was like, wait, that's a Saw character, because that is supposed to be Danny Glover's character. That's the name of Danny Glover's character from the first movie. So I was like, wait a second. And then I looked, and then I saw Samuel L. Jackson, and I'm like,
they
what the fuck is going on?
I don't understand why they put the they cut his version because like in the I guess the red band or the regular trailer he said you can see it on YouTube he says oh motherfucker you want to play.
Yeah. Oh, later, Danny. Thanks for coming by. We're
I'll
at
see you
10
Dan.
people. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for an impromptu stream. We're talking Birds of Prey. We're talking about different trailers we saw. We're we're being the information for you guys, the nonpartisans, just talking about the movie. No agendas, no politics. We're just talking movie
Well,
facts here.
I guess the only I'm assuming the only misogynistic um scene in it is where Black Mask has the one chick strip, I guess.
Yeah, and I looked at that more of she just happened to open her mouth at the wrong time. Like, here's
Right.
my problem with Black Mask, and I think Jeremy Johns. I love you, Jeremy. If you ever want to come on the channel, please come on. Anyways, Jeremy Johns said it the best, and I agree. Is that my problem with Black Mask was that he wasn't one of those characters who had a motive that was relatable. It just seemed like he did shit just to do shit. And
I mean
you know,
that's bad guys for you.
yeah, I mean, but it's a very cliche kind of old school bad guy. I would have,
Yeah.
because he was so fun and charismatic, I would have liked to have more motive besides my parents
Yeah.
just cut me off. And now I'm pissed, so I'm going to take over the city. That was pretty much his thing. That was his
Yeah,
driving goal. That's it.
his whole motive though was to get that diamond so he could take control of the whole entire city. Like he can pretty much pay off whoever he wants with that diamond.
Yeah, like that was pretty much it. Um,
Oh wait,
oh,
since
has
this
a
is a
joke to read out loud? What's that?
since this is a spoiler, at the end of the movie, Black Mask dies.
That was my other problem. And I hope they don't do this because Marvel does this and it pisses me off. I hate
I
when they one off a villain. I
wait.
fucking hate it.
I thought that they would have because I could have swore that his mask gets burned onto his face permanently at one point. I thought they were gonna go for that. Like
Yeah,
when they were
that's
like when they were in that car when they were before they got to the pier, I thought they were gonna crash or something like that, and he was gonna be lit up in flames or some shit, and like the mask would have got like stuck to his face or some shit.
yeah,
But they
that's
do
the
have
route I thought they were going.
they do have a Lazarus pit somewhere, so they could always just take one of his body parts and throw that bitch in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it will that. Let me just tell you guys, because if you're here for spoilers, then you want to know what's happening. But
I,
basically, he gets blown the fuck up. Like, I mean, it's not one of those situations you
that
come back
shit.
from.
The way he got caught off guard though, he like when he's holding Cassandra, and she's like, "I got your ring." She's like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, talking about the bomb and shit." He's like, "Oh no!" And then he just jumps on shit and just he gets blown the fuck up. But honestly, I'm cool with him being a one-off because it's like, what else would he do? Like, to be honest.
Well, Black Mask is a pretty he was a pretty good, like a very tactitious kind of. He was a good foil for Batman, but maybe they're going a different Batman, like long term villain.
Hmm.
But like, I guess for the confines of the story, he worked pretty well. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed but I still laughed because that scene was fucking hilarious. Because she kicked him and he blew up before he hit the fucking water. Because I go, oh, maybe he hits the water. I'm like, nope. You see his fucking body parts just fly all over the place. I go, well, he's dead. They're like, no doubt at the end of this movie.
And I can't give DC credit because they're not like really they don't shy away from killing off like big like villains like that and whatnot.
Oh, I'm gonna read a Generation Production joke here for a second. He said, "At Perp, please read out loud."
I gotta read. God damn, you gotta make me read a whole goddamn sentence. God damn. All right. Meet. Zod didn't meet Thanos yet. Suppose. Still was snapped out of existence because he was in pain. He was a pain in the neck. That's
LOL
funny.
jokes. Yeah, so that was a good one, GP. Keeping it light here in the fandom zone, but yeah, I mean, all in all, this was definitely not the worst movie. And I really wanted to do this stream with you because I felt like we even picked out the same parts in this movie. Like I felt like, dude, there's
I,
so much hate going around
it's a
already.
it's a
It's Thursday.
it's a good kickoff. It's a good kickoff to the box office season because we're in it now. You know, we got Kingsman coming up next. Can't wait for that. You know, we're in it now, so you know it's gonna be interesting to see where DC takes this because I think they have a plan. I think they're figuring things out now, and they got a plan, and you know it's definitely gonna be interesting to see where they take the Birds of Prey and like just Harley Quinn's character and what they're gonna do with her in the future. Because I still think that you know they're going to replace Jared Leto. I still think they should just go get Bill Skarsgård. Just go get Bill
Oh
Skarsgård.
yeah, oh yeah, I'd be down for that. He'd be an amazing Joker, I think. You know what though? Tell me how in this movie I felt like her laugh was better than Jared Leto's. Like she does very Joker-esque laugh
And,
a couple of times in
and
this
this is
movie.
the thing. Like I see this thing, this like back and forth with like the Joker. I'm talking about Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. A lot of people, there's some people that don't like his portrayal. They said like they wanted to see the Prince of Prime and like the clown Prince of Crime. And some people were disappointed in that, even though it's origins. It's like that's one thing you gotta give Jared Leto credit for. He did definitely showcase what the Joker should be, like a fucking psychopath. Like, you know, somebody crosses him or says the wrong thing, he offs him. R.I.P. Common.
Stig, I'm just gonna count that as a rumor because if Brie Larson plays fucking Satana, I am going to find Brie Larson. Oh, I should probably say disclaimer. I'm gonna find Brie Larson, douse her in gasoline, and set her ass on fire. Disclaimer again. But I don't know. I think that this movie is going to be very contentious, and I got to be honest with you, Perp. I'm looking forward in the next couple of weeks to see the box office because at this point, I'm gonna be a little bit spiteful here. I really hope this movie does well. I'm really pulling for
Uh-huh.
this movie so that
It's
all of
gonna
these people who are saying it's gonna flop can shut the fuck up. It's
yeah,
so
it's gonna be tough.
obnoxious.
It's gonna be an interesting ride because it's a rated R movie too. So you know you gotta take that into account. Like not everybody is gonna go take their kid to go see this and whatnot. Even though I would like to see some titties, I would have loved to see some titties in this, but you know it's whatever. Can't have it.
Yeah,
Can't have
yeah,
your
it was
cake and eat it
mostly
too.
R-rated for the language and the violence. There's no nudity. So,
Cause like,
if you're going in thinking you're going to see Margot Robbie naked, just read her interview.
bro, if you
She
that would have gotten so many people in the theaters, bro. Like They Warner Brothers definitely dropped the ball with that. They you just
They didn't even
you
have to
just can't.
show it. Just be like, yeah, Margot Robbie has a naked scene, a weekend article or something. You
I
know
should have
how
said that.
much
I should have said that in my review. Like you see Margot Robbie's titties, then they're fucking nice. You see her,
oh yeah. What was that?
that was just reading some.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Trey. I'm gonna have my Sonic the Hedgehog shirt on from Sega. Um, yes, I don't show, but Sega. Anyways, I will be in there to give you my full review on Sonic the Hedgehog. I am actually fucking really looking forward to that. I want to see how Jim Carrey does back in his first kind of like funny role in years. So, I mean, it felt like just from the trailers, kind of old school Jim Carrey, and I
I,
love Jim
I
Carrey.
think I think I was talking to PB about this. This would be an awesome like post credit scene if you see a bunch of people working on this lab, and then it cuts to a tube, and you see Shadow open his eyes. Fucking
Oh man, that'd be I'd be like a little kid. They'd have to like carry me out of the movie because I'd be screaming, jumping up and down.
and I'm wondering if Tails is gonna be in this because like you can't really have Sonic without Tails, like that's his guy.
Now, I mean, I think if you're telling an origin story, I think that it's okay for the first movie to
We don't
introduce
need no
Sonic.
origin story. It's Sonic.
Well, you have to explain why he's in the human world.
Oh,
Like,
he just
how the
ran
fuck
there.
did he get out of Sega world?
He's got the Speed Force.
You're gonna see Ezra Miller, and he's gonna be like, "Nah, I'm faster, bitch." There is a funny clip where where he's reading the comics, and he goes, "The fastest man, huh?" Like when he did Flash comics. I thought that was a cool little nod. Would it be interesting though if you find out later that like this movie is connected to DC? Like, you see Flash
Right.
appear and be like, Sonic's gonna be in the next fucking DC movie.
I'm interested to see how. I'm wondering if like they'll probably tie the Birds of Prey in with the Suicide Squad because Captain Boomerang is still a part of that. He's still going to be a part of that squad and whatnot. So
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. The most interested I am for Suicide Squad 2 is because of the one and only fact that James Gunn is working on it, and I want to see his take on the Suicide Squad. Now, if anyone, it's supposed to be rated R, and if anyone's ever seen Brightburn, if he could take some of that and put it in Suicide Squad 2, I think we're gonna have a movie. A fuck of a lot better than the first one. So, I mean, oh, I was reading this comment by Kamikaze over here. Yeah, yeah, it's good to have some DC lovers here on the channel because, I mean, let's be real. You have to feel bad for the way that things happen between DC and Marvel, and they got a rough start. And I like pulling for the underdog. And right now, I really want to see fucking Disney kicking out. I don't care where it is, but Disney needs to take a loss. Like, they need to have something fail. I mean, we could say Star Wars is that, but can you really, with Rise of Skywalker reaching a billion? I mean, no matter, I didn't like the movie, but we got to face facts. Rise of Skywalker still made a billion. It's still selling tickets now. So, I mean, you know, is it
that's correct.
comparatively better? No, it's not better than the other films, but they still made their money back. So I really want Disney to take a big fucking loss. Yeah, I'm tired of these fucking Disney remakes and
Tell
everything
me about
connected to
it.
them. So, what up, Stone Cold Jeremy? Good to have you here on the channel. But yeah, I wanted to do, you know, before I got on here to go in the fandom zone for late night talks, I wanted to just you know, get your take on this because I felt like you and me, especially watching your review, I felt like we had the same opinion, and I just got really pissed. Like this movie, folks, this is not even like premiere night. Technically, premiere for majority of theaters is going to be Friday, and like already, you see people firing up, going, "Oh, it's a feminist." Like even the title of some of these streams pissed me off. They're like, "Oh, Birds of Prey is the bottom trash of DC," and I'm like, "Come on, really, really?" You're saying
Green
this is the
Lantern.
worst? No, Justice League was pretty fucking terrible. Like, uh, this is not even close to the worst I've seen DC put out.
Right.
So,
Like I said, it's just a little appetizer before the main course, which is Wonder Woman.
so
So like I said,
seeing this,
once Wonder Woman comes out, everybody gonna forget about Birds of Prey.
oh yeah, yeah, this is not going to be a movie that's going to edge and edge
But
in the DC name, but I think it's fun. I think that people are
I
going to
think
have
it'll
fun.
have I think it'll do all right on the box office. So it'll get word of mouth.
Oh yeah, yeah. This thing is definitely just for how wacky and all over the place this is. People are definitely gonna be like, "Yo, like this movie's fucking crazy." Because like
I think
premiere
its
night,
second week.
my theater was full.
Yeah, I think its second week is gonna do even. It's gonna do good because that's Valentine's Day, so a lot of people that probably won't go see it this weekend will go see it next weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. Star Wars fans, hey, Zod Gunn said don't grow too attached to characters Suicide Squad 2. So who's going to die? Star Wars fans are never gone. I don't know, but I will say this: I'm excited. And look here, I know what people are gonna say. As soon as James Gunn does something like kill off some characters, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, he's killing people!" Blah blah blah. Let me explain something about the Suicide Squad in case you don't know who they are or you've never read the comics. That is an interchangeable team because it's all of the DC villains that are on that, and they're funded by the government, which means it has had several people die and several people swap into it. It's not a team that's like the X-Men or something. They have had multiple members. A lot of people were killed. That's the Suicide Squad. That's why they're called the Suicide Squad, because they're sent
Got
in to
bombs
do
in the
shitty
neck.
stuff. It's like, Spec Ops. So,
It's like 60
uh,
days in, but if you try to leave, you die.
Will, Will Gentry says, "Hey, Will, so how actually is it then? What's it like? Give us your non-professional and entirely unrespected opinion." Well, um, so I think that it is a pretty decent movie. It's very nicely shot. There's very clean fight scenes, good choreographed. Um,
they
in my
the villain is like PB.
Yeah, the villain is PB. Um, no, it's very cleanly shot. There's a lot of snappy dialogue, and if you guys have been on my channel or watched any of my reviews, I'm a huge fan of dialogue. This has some of the fucking funniest dialogue I think I've ever heard in a movie. Like literally, she has like dramatic music for when she drops an egg sandwich that she's waited. She's like waited to get this fucking egg sandwich all day. She gets pissed drunk, and I can relate to this. She gets pissed drunk. She goes to get this egg sandwich, and then like she gets tackled by this cop and drops the egg sandwich on the ground. And they have like this fucking opera music playing, and it play it in slow motion as it falls to the floor. I mean, there's a lot of fucking funny stuff in this movie.
Like the dude that got his face tattooed.
Yeah. And she's
He's
like, "That
like,
wasn't even me. That was Mr. J."
because you dared him to do it.
She goes, and then she's like, "Yeah, I dare people to do a lot of dumb shit." Like that was. I've heard the action looks very good, but I'd expect that after they got the John Wick stunt team to choreographic. As a matter of fact, Will, They also had Chad Stiletzky in there as well. He helped clean up the previous whatever they shot previously. So the fight scenes look very clean. The movie overall, it's not going to be a big philosophical thinking movie. Okay, it's a very simple plot. It's a simple premise. A very like simple bad guy, and they're just there to get a diamond and fight a bunch of bad guys. That's pretty much it.
But
I mean, it's there's nothing deep. So, PB, what do you mean by are we talking story or graphics?
hey, PB, spoiler. You see Margot Robbie's titties in this movie.
PB is gonna buy a ticket tomorrow. He's like, I wasn't gonna go see Birds of Prey, but
I'll go see Margot Robbie's titties and then walk out.
Yeah. I mean,
Martha.
But, yep. Why did you say that name? Oh God, that. Let me tell you. Okay,
that seems deep, yo. That seems deep.
Well, let me tell you. One thing I can honestly say about this movie: there is no lines in this movie like that. The dialogue is actually good. Like, there's no Martha. Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
I mean, Black Mask yells out, "Oh, you need me!" It almost sounded like Martha.
Like, and I gotta say, I give Ewan a lot of credit. So when you look at this bad guy, okay, let's talk about the villain for a second. When you look at this villain on paper and like the way the story is set up, this villain could have spectacularly failed because he literally has no layers to him. But Ewan, the way he plays this role is
so James Bond villain.
Oh yeah, like he's very generic. He has no layers to him. I caught that jab. Perp. I'll get back to that. But I mean, he has no layers to him. But I will give them credit. They got the best guy to play this because you get so invested at what crazy shit he's gonna do in the next scene. Like literally, I was wondering what the fuck he was gonna do because he's cutting people's faces off. He's like calling out his friend's wife and then telling the friend to like rip the dress off of her and have her dance on top of a table. I mean, this motherfucker is crazy.
The best way to describe his character is he's very like insecure and like he's kind of like a germaphobe. It seems like it's a little bit because he wears gloves all the time. So I think that's a part of it. You don't want to touch nothing, and like certain things kind of like weird him out. He'll be like, "Ew."
Yeah. And this is the way he does it. Okay, so like if you're looking for it, one can say that there's a gay undertone to his character.
Yeah, he's super flamboyant. That's
obvious. Yeah. Like he's very like, hey, but he doesn't play it like where you go, oh my god, he goes from being this flamboyant character to then like sitting down, and then he'll just start like getting angry, and then he'll just switch.
All right, GP, I'll see you later.
See you later, GP. We love you. But yeah. I do agree. Ewan does play this character. I'm not gonna pronounce it Ewan. I'm going with the E.
I would say Ewan, but I know it's Ewan. Who cares? He's Obi-Wan. It's dope to see him play a villain though. Like he should have been Anakin Skywalker, man.
Yeah, definitely. LB, welcome. We are doing our spoiler review. We are talking about how woke this is, how terrible the feminist propaganda.
Woke prey.
It's woke prey. Yeah, to catch you up, LB, I had to do this stream because I see the YouTubers coming out talking about this is the bottom of the barrel, feminist propaganda, blah, 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 blah. Go fuck yourself. Um, I hate. No, I'm gonna get in on this. I really hate the fact that this movie is on its Thursday night premiere, and fucking people are coming out already. And this is not to do it because they're actually calling something out. They're doing this just for the fucking clicks. And it's no
Yeah.
different than people coming out and saying, oh, this is the greatest movie of all time. It's empowered females and blah, blah, blah. It's the same bullshit. And it really burns me because it's like, talk about the movie. If you have a problem, then highlight maybe the story is uneven. Or maybe you didn't like the fact that the villain was a one off or something like that. But do we always have to go towards the politics? Like, let's talk about the movie's flaws. Yeah, it's just aggravating. Ugh. But yeah, so, but yeah, but I'll give Ewan credit. Like to play a flamboyant, psychotic villain, like he played that role really well. Like,
Yeah, man. He always had a different outfit on.
yeah, I love how he's in his pajamas, right? And then he says, "Oh, or no, he was in something," and then he's like, "Yeah, I got to go change." And I'm like, "Damn, man, you were just in." Like, I
All
would
these
have gone
different
out like
suits.
that. like this dude must have. I'd say out of everyone in this movie, Ewan probably like changed his wardrobe more than even the females. Like I'd say he changed his wardrobe far more than anyone else in this movie.
Right. He had a little bit of touch of eyeliner too at this the one scene where he did one chick's throat.
Yeah, man. Like that was definitely it was something.
But he had some ill ass suits though, man. I was like, yo, where can I get that at? I can't afford that shit.
Yo, yeah, he had some pretty good outfits. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of them outfits were pretty tight. Like the one he had with um the one with the black suit and the black gloves. Like I was
Yeah.
feeling that outfit. And then the one at the end
How do you
where
feel about the
he had the
mask
mask.
overall?
I gotta say that was the black masks. Like that was his mask. Like I didn't have a
You
problem
feel
with the
like
mask at all.
you feel like he should have kept that on the whole movie?
I feel like when he was doing shit evil, he should have had it on. Like the warehouse scene, they should have had him have it on because I felt like that was the switch. Like they didn't do a really good job distinguishing, except for when they did like the scenes where he was kind of looking like he just like get angry or something. But they should have like
Mm-hmm.
switched it where he put the mask on when he went out to do like criminal shit instead of just having him have it at like the last like 10 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Because I think that would have drove home more of like that break between Roman and Black Mask. Like that was my other issue in this film is that they address his psychotic breaks, but they don't do it in a way where I can physically see it. Like Black Mask in the comics, that mask is a manifestation of his evil tendencies. When he puts that on, it's how he like separates himself. He sees himself as like just a normal guy that does terrible shit, and he uses the mask as like an excuse. So he's like, when I got this mask on, I'm gonna do like my criminal shit, and then when he takes it off, he's the businessman or whatever he needs to be for the regular world. And I think that would have played and probably given him better layers as a character than just like, oh, he's just crazy, like that
Yeah.
was kind of lazy for me. I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought they could have used it a lot more than they did.
Mm.
But I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was
Like,
cool.
would you have liked to see the mask a lot more?
Yeah, like I would be cool, but honestly, he probably was one of those actors that I don't want my face to be covered up 24/7. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, I'll put it on for like one or two scenes, but I'm not gonna wear this
Hey,
fucking
well,
thing throughout the whole
I
thing.
tell you what, I tell you what. Black Mass did not have the high ground by the end of this movie.
Oh, well done, sir. No, he most certainly did not. He
Nah,
he had
the
he
tables have
had like
turned.
he had multiple uh, uh low grounds. Uh, so let me ask you this because I know what's going to be said. Do you think that this movie benefits from the R rating, or do you think that it would have been fine without an R rating?
I think this could have honestly been PG-13. They just would have had to cut back on just certain things because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like overly gory torture porn type like rated R violence. But I think they could have done a PG-13.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty strange choice, but I do understand it because, and see, here's the thing that also gets me about Black Man's character. Like when they said R rated, I was like, okay, cool. So we're gonna see this motherfucker like torturing people a lot, but you really don't
Mm.
get that in this movie. Like, you get it once, and then it's just kind of like he does a bunch of things, and then most of the violence comes from like Harley Quinn beating the shit out of people with baseball bats. Like, holy fuck, man. I'm sorry, I keep on coming back to that, but that scene was just crazy. Like, she broke that dude's leg in like
I still
multiple
can't get
places.
over that drop kick. That's the illest drop kick I ever seen in my life. Like getting hit in
Oh
the chest
God.
with that shit.
Yeah, like, but you know, Will Gentry says, well, they will have wanted him to show his face. Yeah, I do agree with that. My thing was they could have done scenes with him without the mask. I just think that they could have played it off like
Or
this is.
yeah, if he could just be wearing the mask and like we don't know why he's wearing the mask and like underneath the mask he could just have a burnt face or some shit like that.
Yeah, like I think here's my problem, and I think the real problem with the movie is that the writing could have gone deeper into things, and I felt like they missed a lot of chances to really get you know, emotional connections and things like that. Like I
Yeah.
understand the movie was going for like a goofy vibe and I was digging that. But I think like with like the character of Black Mask or with the other characters, they could have like scaled back a little bit of the craziness and kind of got more into the characters. Like that
Or
was the problem for me with the writing is like
or
it was
or like
good.
like what I said, like, all they had to do is show Margot Robbie's titties. That's all they had to do. And she'll make $1 billion.
And with that, welcome LB.
What's up? What's up?
Mr.
We're
Lonely.
What's
Hey,
going on?
LB, we're talking about the agenda-driven birds of prey. It's so woke, isn't it woke? It's woke.
Man, you know, like straight up, man. I I I used to like world class BSs, man. I really did, bro. I really liked them a lot. But that channel has fallen all the way off. Like they ain't got no Star Wars content to talk about no more. So they reaching with a lot of stuff they doing. And that Birds of Prey video they did, they was reaching 100%. And
Yeah,
I've seen a few others. Like there hasn't been many reviews out, but they've been putting out videos about the box office and the leaks and all. They're really reaching with this movie. They really are.
I I didn't watch your video yet, but like, could you sum up like
Hold
your?
on one sec. I was putting my headphones back on. What you said?
Nah, so I didn't see your video yet, but could you sum up like what you felt, how you felt about the movie? Well, like, a better question is, did you like the movie?
I wouldn't say I liked it. It was okay. I wasn't mad at it. I didn't hate it. If I'm at somebody's house and they put it on, I'm not gonna leave or go into another room. It was okay. Like
Did
I
did, did
I would me personally I would never watch it again like on my own.
Yeah, me. I said something controversial earlier. I said this is better than the first two Deadpools.
And to be completely honest with you, to completely real with you, I would agree with you. I look,
Oh
look.
wow!
Let me be straight up with you on this. I I was not a big fan of Deadpool, and
Mhm.
and Deadpool 2 was a big time step down from the first Deadpool. And
Right.
the I'm not going to say no one can like Deadpool, but I think a lot of the hype over that movie came from the fact it was a rated R movie and a comic book character was cursing and doing all kind of crude stuff.
Because if you go back and watch the first one, it doesn't really hold up like that. It doesn't.
Yeah, man. I mean, to me, like I know y'all love Joker, but like to me, Joker and Deadpool are similar movies with like how people reacting to the movies, like they're
Hmm.
overhyping them. But yeah, man, like the movie, like I said in my review, the movie feels like Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool mixed together, but it wasn't as funny as the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. How'd you feel about
Yeah,
like the action scenes?
I could tell they reshot all the action scenes because the way those scenes were shot was completely different from the rest of the movie.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I mean, I'm not really a fan of, and you know that they. I know it's a big thing in a lot of the movies, the slow motion stuff, but with the women movies, they are really doing the slow motion stuff
Yeah.
because it's like you have to see them do, you have to see what they're doing like more clearly and stuff like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
And it's like, look, I know women can do these type of things, but it's like, look, man, if y'all gonna be having these kind of fight scenes, you got to get bigger and bulkier women. Like, because I mean, for me, it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it's a nitpick, but that's just my issue with a lot of these movies and TV shows with these 5'2",
Hmm.
110-pound women beating up grown men at 6'5", 250. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, like Harley Quinn and Huntress were like their fight scenes were kind of believable, because they didn't do nothing too crazy, like picking up whole dudes and stuff. They were like kind of hip toss to them and throw them all around and shit, and you know. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
man.
still like one of the funniest moments in that movie is where they were stealing shit out the grocery store and they smacked dude with the cart. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
he should have away.
Hold on. So Will Gentry said like he really liked the first Deadpool movies. Yeah, they're not great, but they're a lot of fun. That's exactly what this movie is. And I said in my review, like for me, it's not my kind of movie, to be honest with you. Like I'm not into that goofy comedy comic
Yeah,
book stuff.
slapstick shit.
Yeah, but if you're into that kind of stuff, it will be a lot of fun for you because the movie, like, it's just a movie you go watch. You turn off your brain. Just pay no attention to any
Exactly.
logic and just watch it. That's it.
It's a straightforward story. Like it's pretty simple. Like, oh, we got to get this diamond. Keep the diamond away from the bad guy.
Yeah,
That's
that's it. I mean, it's like a '60s Batman TV show. It's it's
Yeah, that's a
it's,
good example.
it's
Yeah.
corny, man. It's kooky. It's
Yeah,
nonsense.
people. I don't know what people are expecting with this movie. They're expecting like, oh, like some deep storytelling or some shit. Like, no, I did not. It's like if you were expecting that, then yeah, like I could definitely see why somebody would like trash this movie.
Yeah, man. It's like I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was fully expecting this movie to be trash. And I was like, okay, this ain't bad. It's not. I'm not mad at anything in the movie.
Yeah,
Like, and for anybody that's out there with this, oh, there's an agenda or some woke stuff. No, there's not. There's none of that in there at all.
there's no like I didn't see no misogynistic like I didn't really get that. I
Right.
guess 'cause I'm looking for it, but
Like, I mean, I was paying attention to stuff,
mhm.
but it's like, for example, all the white guys are bad guys, but there's black bad guys in the movie too. There's black Hispanic bad guys. It's
Yeah,
not like
he
a
got
straight white thing.
yeah, the black dude got hit in the nuts. Like,
Right, right. They let you know.
yeah,
They made sure you saw that.
yeah,
yeah,
like see, it's
and I
not all white.
mean, the end fight scene, I heard it broke down that like they have the guy versus the girl. You could reach for that, but like I said, and I said this in my review, it's a lot of, you would have to like straight up be reaching hard. Like I felt like watching the reviews that I was watching, and you know what, LB, that world class bullshitter stream made me want to stream, because when I saw that title, I was like, come on, really? Like bottom of the barrel DC trash,
No lie,
birds
bro.
of prey.
I almost made a video about them, but I ain't want none of they the Fandom Menace clones to come talk about. I'm doing a video for clout, cause like man, this stuff is getting old, bro. Like
It
y'all
is.
gotta stop saying everything is like y'all are running out of stuff to talk about. That's the problem, man. Y'all. All of y'all are built off of talking about SJWs and woke stuff, and it's like not going on like that, and you're reaching.
Yeah, and like some people might be really interested in this movie, and then you go around saying that bullshit and
Right.
hurting that movie, and like that's what I say. It's like it's like motherfuckers can't enjoy shit no more. Like just fucking if you don't like the shit or you don't care to see it, don't talk about it. Like the fuck.
Yeah, man. And I mean, and that's happened to me when I've talked about previous stuff, like even with the Rise of Skywalker. Like these idiots out here talk about woke and SJW stuff, and there wasn't any of that in there. But when I
Right.
mention it and say there's not, oh, but there is because this person said it because they have more subscribers than you, man, boy.
I hate that shit.
It's like, bro, they gotta do better, man. Come up with some new content, man. Like you was really reaching, and then, and I. And you would think, I know why they're doing this, man. I know why they're doing this. But, like, you got to be thinking, we're at the point where we know these actors and actresses, these writers, they're all going to say these all extra stuff, these buzzwords, because, it gets people
attention.
talking, whatever.
And
But,
that's why
they're not.
and that's why I thought Warner Brothers was doing it, because I was like, they wouldn't be stupid to fall into that trap. Like, they already got a bad, like, some people don't like really have that trust in DC like that. So why would they even try to do that with their movies? Like,
All right,
like,
so hold on. Will Jenkins asks, here's a question. Certain people ask, are there any white men in the movie who are good? Because if every white man in the movie is a bad guy or a-hole, then it's prime bait for the anti-woke crowd. Man, see, this is the thing. This is a movie full of villains. Like Harley Quinn and all them
right.
are not good people.
Yeah, these are not
No.
good people. These are all villains. There's not one good character in this.
Yeah, nobody in this movie are good at all.
Well, hold on. I think I can answer this one, Will. Let me put it to you this way, and it's said in the movie itself. There's a scene where Harley Quinn like pauses and she goes, "Now this was really shitty," and she sells the kid out. She sells the character out. Like she takes them to the bad guy. So it doesn't glorify to me one side or the other. They're all assholes.
even the Asian store owner, whatever.
I was about to mention that.
Yeah, even him. He sold Harley Quinn now. Like, ain't nobody shit in this movie. Like,
yeah, like can't nobody come out with no all white men bad, or everybody in this movie are bad people. I promise you.
Like it basically shows you Gotham's underworld. I think it's more of a story about how in the world of shady people there is no good guys or bad guys. I mean, it did what Suicide Squad should have did. Like everyone's a bad guy. There's no good guys. No, the person down the street will sell you out for money.
Like the even the cop Montoya, she's not good.
No,
she's not.
She goes rogue.
even before going rogue, like she wasn't good at all. Like she did the right things, but she was crooked.
Yeah, she had the DA person doing illegal stuff for her. Like
she'd fit right in with power. Like just everybody that's like
like she was basically she was every single cop trope in that movie. And like the crooked cop too. But yeah, Will, man. Like these YouTubers, man, boy.
I'm fed up, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm only watching LB's reviews. I don't care about nobody else.
That's
everybody in general side.
That's not like real talk. Like I'm not trying to throw shade at none of these people, but this is why all their views are down right now, man. Because they ain't got nothing to talk about. They pulling stuff out of a rabbit's hole.
Right. What's gonna be next? Like, I I'm already gonna say it like they're gonna call fucking Black Widow woke. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like woke widow or some dumb fucking name they come up with and shit.
You
Yeah,
know
man.
what
But
I'm gonna do? Because DC always gets shit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a video as soon as this movie comes out. I don't care how much hate I get. It'll be like Black Widow goes woke, and it's gonna be, and it's gonna be so clickbaity because it'll be like because like I can put I will lay down any sum of money that movie is going to get so much praise. Just watch. I will bet anyone any kind of money that everyone's gonna be praising it and saying Scarlett Joe is so brave. The movie's so deep. There's so much plot in it. And you
Stupid.
won't hear one bad thing. It
No.
pisses me off.
I
But
I
mean,
can't. I can't wait to I can't wait till Saw comes out. They'll be like, "There's too many black people in this movie." It's a
man.
horror.
I mean, that I like. That's. I mean, I'm at the point where I've always ignored these people, like these media
Yeah.
people and stuff. But like when I got into doing YouTube stuff, like you gotta pay attention to this stuff more because I'm making videos. But it's like, man, you know exactly what they're gonna say with all these interviews. You know what they're gonna say in these reviews. Like they're always gonna praise the women and the minorities and stuff. But like, man,
Mm.
there's nothing woke in Birds of Prey. Like like I got a problem with Black Canary being black just because you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Cassandra Cain. I got a problem with Cassandra Cain being Asian. Like how many Asians do you know with the name Cassandra? Like come on, man. Like
I said, see, my problem, like, if you want to get into that arena and say that there was race swapping a lot in that movie, like that was my thing. Like they took Black Canary very literal. Like,
right.
oh, Black Canary, she's
Mhm.
black. I'm like, what?
Well, now she's not even black. She light skinned, but still black. They could have
You,
got Lupita to play Black Canary.
um, and
Oh,
LB,
one thing before you go, like, can we let Rotten Tomatoes just die already? Can we stop like posting
Yeah.
up like, Rotten Tomatoes says they gave it a 90, so that means it's a bad movie.
Right.
Like, stop that shit.
Like this movie, like that. I saw that score. I'm like 90%. Nah, bro. Yeah, man. What's up? What's up? What you were gonna say, Mr. Zod? You? Oh, he.
oh, I was gonna point out that with this film, I think that my problems from the movie come from it being like narratively all over the place. Like if there was like real complaints to this film, it's more of a narrative. It's a narrative issue because a lot of parts are very like up and down. I would say it was more writing inconsistencies, mainly with the villain too. Like he's very. I love Ewan, but he's a very generic villain, and I would have liked to see more depth as far as that character goes.
I think the lady that wrote this movie also was the screenwriter for Bumblebee.
That explains a lot. Then.
Yeah.
I would have mind like an extra like 15 minutes because you know how they try to explain everybody's backstory and stuff and like explain certain situations. They kind of go through that pretty quickly. They could have like spent a little bit more time with certain characters' backstories and stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that. I mean, honestly, like this movie is all over the place, man. Like that was my biggest. I think that was my biggest issue with the movie. It's the whole trying to explain every single thing right, but with text on the screen and through flashbacks. It's like, oh, this is about to happen. Well, let me explain why we're here right now. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just like, bruh,
yeah,
come on, man.
if you're going to do that, they should have made the movie longer.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said, and like you know, with some critics that I watched, they did have a good point. It's like narratively, this thing is all over the place. And don't get me wrong, by the end of the movie, it does pull it together to a coherent, like, this is where we
Mhm.
are, this is the fight, blah, blah, blah. But like you said, LB, them like breaking in and saying certain stuff, it takes you out of the movie.
I I think it flows better than like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was definitely like a jumbled ass mess. Like it right it, once it got to like that third act and shit, just said, hey, fuck it, we're just gonna throw whatever at the wall, see if
Now,
it sticks.
I will give it like Zod just said. The third act, like, it's crazy because so many movies just fall apart in the third act. I thought the third act it was a lot more together than the rest of the movie because like that's when they finally became the birds of prey, which was like what the last
Mhm.
15 minutes of the movie, and that's the best part of the movie to me. And I wish it was done more earlier because like you could
Yeah.
see the chemistry between all of them. That was pretty
hmm
fun. But man,
It was a force like Endgame where they just randomly all the females get together like
right. Like, and I wish I would have said it in my review because that's a perfect like comparison. Like they all came together because of a legit reason. Like
mhm.
they wasn't friends, but they all had like the common goal or what they needed to reach, and like they was all intertwined. Endgame is just like, oh, we're all the females. Okay, cool. We're helping each other. Great.
We
Yeah,
got this cap.
and you know what's funny? This is the biggest thing that pisses me off, right? Endgame when it first came out, now people are pointing out things, but back when it first came out, I highlighted that too when I went on chats and stuff. I was like, that woman scene, and everyone just glazed over it, like, yeah, but it wasn't really through the whole movie. And I'm like, okay, so are we gonna be fair about this? Because if we're gonna call out just having shit happen to have women have a place in it, then why aren't we calling this out? Because quite honestly, that one scene pissed me off the most about Endgame was like,
Because
yeah, just because there was no, like, Scarlet Witch was the only one in that whole thing that had a reason to fight Thanos because he killed Vision. Like, that had a place. The rest of them bitches had nothing to do with it.
I'm like,
It's
y'all
just
never
like,
met each other in life. Like,
they're like, oh, we're all women. We're all
And
friends now.
and
I mean,
and not only that, like I don't want to turn this into a whole end game thing, but like, okay, why does Captain Marvel need these people help?
right.
She literally just 5 minutes before flew through a giant ship, destroyed it by herself.
Why didn't she just come down to the ground and just destroy like kill all those like Chitari people and stuff like she didn't do all that like that shit was retarded.
because of the fact that they painted themselves in the corner with the Captain Marvel character because they saw the backlash, because you saw the edits they made to Captain Marvel. So they heard the backlash, and so at the last second, they basically like pick and choose when her character was going to be powerful. Like even before that, remember when she sees Peter Parker, she goes through the whole entire crew of bad guys, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh no, I really need the ladies' help." It was very disbalanced. Like they didn't know what to do with her character. This movie didn't feel like that. Like everyone had a place. And LB, I pointed this out. Like they all get their asses beat in this movie quite a bit.
Harley's
Harley
guy's
Quinn
the
gets
worst.
fucked up.
She gets thrown through a car, thrown into a car, and shit like.
Right. You're like they then it's not some straight Mary Sue unstoppables type stuff. Now I did take issue with, well, not issue. This is more like the whole movie. It's like everything, like Harley Quinn is the luckiest anti-hero in the entire galaxy. Like if you're gonna call her,
Yeah.
everything that happens to her, she gets out of it by pure luck. Like, she's about to get raped, right? Black Canary's
hmm
there. She's about to get killed by a goon. Huntress is there. She's getting choked out by the guy out in the jail thing. And Cassandra Cain helps out. Like that's what happens to her throughout the whole entire movie. So then that's another aspect of, if anybody says this movie is woke or want to call her Mary Sue, nope, that's not the case.
How do you
No,
feel
no,
about
and
how do you feel about them? How they handled the Joker whole aspect? You think it was disrespectful, or because me, I feel like it worked because like if you would have kept them out of the movie completely, that'd have been kind of weird.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, and I liked
I
how
thought it was pretty funny.
I liked the premise of it. Like the
Yeah.
premise of the movie was cool. Like it was like, okay, she broke up with Joker, but she's not telling anybody, and she's using his name for clout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, and I got a very John Wick vibe, as Herb pointed out. Like as soon as she said, "Oh, we broke up,"
It's
and
open
like,
season on.
yep, and I love the fact too that after she says like that whole line, "Oh, I came up with my greatest plan ever," and fucking blows up the plant, and then like the cop comes and goes, "This is the dumbest, most not thought out plan ever." I was like, like the thing with the movie that's weirdest about it is that it's very up and down. Like it doesn't get its stride, like we all said. So about the third act of the movie is where you go, okay, like it really settles into its premise. And I
Mhm.
think that if they would have tightened up the story slightly and made it a little bit flow a little bit better and not have such a choppy narrative, this would have, I mean, I would have put it in the 9 or 10s. Right now, I have
Yeah,
it sitting at a 7.
that's your favorite number. But but no, it's just like I wanted to see more of the Huntress though. Like she was
Yeah,
interesting as hell to me.
she was the best. She was the best character out of all of them. The Birds of Prey
Shooting
people.
dudes in the neck, like shooting dudes in the neck, like this shit. And dudes still talking and shit.
Um,
Yes, what's her name? Mary Elizabeth
yeah,
Weinstein? Yes, I would. Yes,
The
marry
bow
me,
and arrow.
please. Like,
yeah. I
like,
like her in everything I've seen her in. Like, was she in Die Hard too? Not Die
yep.
Hard Part Two, but one of the Die Hard the movie. Yeah,
Yeah, she was in
four.
the good one with the comic guy, the funniest one, Die Hard with a Vengeance. She played the dog.
I do like I liked her outfit at the end. She had like the Missy Elliott baggy the baggy I was like, I know people are gonna kill her for that. But like those look like those the prototype uniforms you get until you get the real outfits and shit. But
Yeah,
you know they're definitely gonna have another Joker like in there like replace because they're probably going they're definitely gonna have probably like we're probably gonna see two more Jokers like one for the Matt Reeves Batman eventually or something like that or you know they'll probably replace Jared Leto with like I would replace Jared Leto with like Bill Skarsgård so like he already played a clown so it's like why not get him you know.
Yeah, I think that'd be excellent casting. And LB, I wanted to get your perspective on this as well because me and Perp talked about this. I feel like DC has a better roadmap now. Seeing this movie and the fact that it was pretty clean in most parts, except for the narrative, and that's just a writing thing. But overall, I feel like they do have a plan with these movies now. Like they got a direction that they want to take it
I don't know, bro. This is DC.
in.
Yeah, I think we'll know. I think we'll know by like either when Wonder Woman comes out or like Batman. I think by Batman definitely, because
So
like we still don't know exactly if that's going to be connected to the the whole universe and shit. Or
what was the post credit scene?
I don't think there
um,
was one.
There
yeah,
was
there
one.
was.
There was.
Uh,
It was.
Yeah.
it's the scene that makes me laugh and pisses me off. She goes, at the very end, she goes, "Oh, you guys are still here?" She's like, "Okay, I'm going to tell you a super secret. Batman," and then they cut it off.
Bruh.
You,
I'm
you,
glad I
you,
ain't stayed in.
Yeah, I was
I
so mad.
almost stayed the whole time, but like, it's funny that she mentions like she says the Batman. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, is that teasing like that Robert Pattinson's Batman already exists in this universe, and they just haven't caught up to it?
Now I don't know, but speaking of that, it didn't bother me, but I felt I mean, like I said, man, this movie was stupid. So like a lot of this stuff I was just like whatever. But like for me, all this stuff going down in Gotham City and there's no sight of Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's weird.
like,
They need to
like,
stop doing that.
I feel like the only way this is going to make sense is if Matt Reeves' Batman, the Batman, comes after these other movies. Like they say, like they make some kind of nod, like, oh yeah, Harley Quinn and has been running amok, and there's these vigilantes called the Bird of Supply, something like that to kind of
I
connect it.
think that's why I think Flashpoint's going to be that movie to connect all the dots. Like, something's going to happen in that movie where then you're going to finally get like Robert Pattinson's Batman, Harley Quinn, and just all these characters in one universe and stuff, except for Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think that still be separate. But
do like they did on Arrow.
I mean, they proved they don't have, like, yeah. While I got you here, man, I'm on your side. Like the CW Arrow, like everyone was praising it, dude. That was trash. I finally finished the last episode. I was like, this was the biggest fucking waste of time ever.
Hold on, people were praising that episode.
No, people were saying that the crossover was good or whatnot, or did these things good. I was like, the crossover didn't do nothing good.
I just looked at that Superman versus Superman fight. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
bro, it looks like some YouTube budget, man.
Right.
Yo,
that's what like
the sad part was that was the best episode.
and the CW, it's just like I don't understand what it is. Like, y'all make so much content, you can't up the budget a little bit for these shits, like.
They spent the money on the cameos.
No, not only that, but the shows really don't get really that good ratings, so that's why the budgets are like real constrained.
And yo, bro, like people want to talk about woke. Batwoman, that show is so. I can't wait till I do my review. I'm doing a mid-season review because I couldn't waste my time like going episode by episode, pointing out all the flaws. But that show just takes a shit all over Batman. Like she is the worst.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Zod was on his stream defending Batwoman?
Oh God, I feel like an asshole.
Exposed.
I feel that's one of those moments where I wish I could go back and like rewind and be like, nah, this is gonna be trash.
You need to go back. You need to go back in time and take back what you said about Black Panther. That's what you need to do. It's Black History.
Nah, I still hashtag Black Panther is trash.
But it's a 7.
No, I'm saying I give it a 7 because movie wise, it's shot decently and as a movie, it's well put together. But my personal feelings are it doesn't have any substance, and those rhinos look fucked up. CGI rhinos are terrible.
All right, Zon, keep that same energy when Shang-Chi comes out. And if that shit ends up being like Kung Fu Hustle, I don't want to hear nothing.
Man, that movie's gonna probably be like Rush Hour.
Right.
Will Gentry, thank you. He's it does and it doesn't, Zod. I like your middle road there, but I'm gonna stick on my lane. I stand by my statements, except for with Batwoman. I strongly take that back. I apologize. I did not know how bad the writing was gonna be.
Bruh,
like
you were tripping that night. I remember that night, bro.
LB, I watched 10 episodes, bro. It was like taking a knife and just shoving it in my eye repeatedly. I was yelling at the screen so much.
Bro, that first episode was 40 minutes. I watched 30 minutes of that. I was like, nah, I'm done.
Man, I
fell asleep.
I was going to the premiere episode. I was gonna like watch it and then do a review, but in like 5 minutes before, I was like, nah, bro. Like, nah, I'm not watching this. I'm not wasting my time.
The Batman disrespect is crazy. Like, so crazy.
Yo, and tell me how like everyone got hyped because like the voice of Batman came back. Dude, they did Batman so dirty in that crossover. Like so dirty. I was like, I was ready to throw my laptop because I'm watching
I
it
was
and I
like,
go, this isn't fucking
I,
Batman.
I was like, is this Batman or Stephen Hawking's? Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like
oh my god.
Arrow got killed twice, and they didn't give a shit about him both times.
This is
Like,
why I was like, I don't understand people that defend the CW, bro. Like, that shit's been trash. Like, I stopped watching that shit years ago. Years ago.
like no, I like Smallville CW. Like when they had
No.
Smallville on, that was
Small
my joint.
Smallville had like a couple good seasons, and then like that shit was just so trash.
No, see,
Mm-mm.
that's where I would have to say no. That's my Lex Luthor.
I sat through and watched all 10 seasons, and I was like, yo, I felt like I just wasted my time watching all this.
Hold on, what seasons?
Of Smallville. Like I watched
Oh,
all 10 seasons of Smallville, and I was like, I feel like I completely wasted my time watching this.
oh man.
I was like, never
No, I
again.
gotta say, I liked what they did with Zod, though. I mean, I'm not being biased here. I'm not saying that I have a bias toward anything General Zod, but I did him all right. Like,
That's what I'm
oh, I
saying.
gotta
Like
make.
for the people that just watch CW shows, y'all guys just hop off that train, put on some HBO or find something on Showtime, get you some premium content in your life, and it'll change your life. You'll never have to go back. You'll never go back.
And for the love of God, don't get CBS All Access. Watch my video called CBS All Access is trash. Like, oh God, that was. I'm so like I'm literally counting down the days on my calendar. I'm hoping Picard ends before my
Uh,
like free trial ends, because then I'll be watching that shit illegally. Because I'm not keeping CBS. Like
uh,
Twilight Zone made me want to just.
are you doing the
Ugh.
late night talks tonight?
Yeah. So I
Oh,
probably should wrap this up. But it's been fun. LB, you can always hop on the late night.
yeah, because I've actually seen Picard,
Yeah,
so I can
yeah.
talk about it.
I gotta say, I watched the third episode, and that too made me want to do a stream because it's catching a lot of hate, and I thought it was really good. It was a lot better than episode two. So, I
Who's
mean,
that
I'd
dude that
be
plays Picard? What's his name again? Sir something. What's his
Sir
name?
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart. Yo, he never changed. Yo, he's looked the same since I was a child.
No,
He's been
man.
old. He's been old
No, man.
forever.
I mean, I watched the Next Generation when it came out with my mom, so I could tell like he's aged. But yeah, for the
Yeah.
most part, he's still similar.
He been bald forever, yo.
But let me start wrapping this up because I gotta set up the next stream. But I'm gonna go down. Y'all can plug your channels. Let's start with the person who joined me first for the roundtable discussion, Mr. Purpminded. Tell him about the 18 videos you got coming out this week.
Yeah, it's about 18, almost maybe. I'm running on like no sleep. I blame Zod. Well, I was supposed to get my nap in, but it's all good. I'll get my nap in now. But it's perp minded. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to start reviewing Lock and Key on Netflix as soon as that bitch drops at 3 o'clock, probably 3:30, depending on whenever I wake up. Um, then what else I got? Then the Horse Girl comes out also, and then Into the Dark. I'll probably do those sometime this weekend. I'm trying to get those everything knocked out before Power comes on. I'm gonna try to do my best. And Power season series finale is Sunday. Yes. Well, then got my live stream on Monday with General Zod, Danny from Comic Chat, Rashad G reviews, and Oliver Queen. We're all gonna be talking about Power and whatnot. So definitely come check us out. Come check us out on my channel Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not Eastern Pacific Time. You know, so yeah, I got a lot
I
to
know
do
you
this
threw that
weekend.
in for me.
Yes, got a lot to do this weekend.
And of course, we have the loneliest man, the OG of being lonely here on the panel, Mr. LB. Tell him about your great spoiler review you dropped, bringing some clarity in the madness of reviews on your channel about Birds of Prey.
I'm mad y'all ain't tell me about this earlier. I would have jumped right on and talked about it with you.
It
But yeah,
was
man,
improv too.
it's all good, man. Everybody, y'all already know, man. My channel's a lonely banter. I did a Birds of Prey spoiler review, so if you're interested in hearing more, my thoughts is about 10 minutes long. You can check it out, but if not, oh well. Appreciate y'all.
And of course, here soon, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna say hi to everyone. Bullshit, and then the late night talks is gonna be coming on. So come check us out. Maybe LB will jump on there, and yeah, we're we're gonna talk about some topics that I'm gotta throw together really quick because honestly, the news has been light. It's been a light news, but I might bring up the whole Lilo and Stitch thing because that model looks fucking atrocious.
I don't even think that's
Among other
real.
things. Yo, that was the most horrible looking
That shit
like
look like it
promo
eat
they
you.
put out. That looked like a gremlin. Like, after they transformed, like it was terrible. But anyways, yeah, I got my review of Picard episode 3 up already. If you didn't check it out, go check it out. I go in deep. Don't believe the hate. It was a decent episode. Um, you know, so check that out. Check out my Twilight Zone episodes I got because you want to talk about woke. That shit literally has an episode called "Not All Men." Guess what it's about?
Oh,
But anyway,
that Jordan Peele.
no, yeah, I got a lot of it to say when I do the overview of that show. But to be fair, Jordan Peele didn't write it. He did. He is a
Yeah,
producer
he's
though. So
narrating.
yeah, he has nothing to do with the writing. They bring in different writers and it shows. But anyways,
He
thank
approves
you
it.
everybody.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you. And as always, remember the lonely rule here in the fandom zone. Kneel before General Zod.
Don't drop the soap.